We'll now call this Madison County Board of Adjustments Thursday, November the 16th meeting order. Call the roll, please.
Mike Madison. Here. Keith Park. Keith Weaver. Here. Kim Oles. Here. Ralph Hall.
Here. First thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes from last month. Everybody looked over the minutes. And if anybody has any questions, if not, I'll open the floor up for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes last week.
Second.
And just for the record, let's show that Keith Park is
Yes.
joined us now before I call the roll.
Yes.
Keith Weaver.
Yes.
Kim Oles.
Here.
Mike Madison.
Yes.
Keith Park.
Yes.
Ralph Hall.
Yes. All right.
Mr. Chairman, before we get started, let's just take a minute to introduce our new member. We'll put her on the spot right out of the gate here. Kim Oles is taking Valerie's place, who stepped down after the last meeting. Kim, let's take a couple minutes to tell us a little bit about yourself, background, where you come from, all that good stuff.
Yes, I am from here in Madison County. I was born and raised here. Went to school here to Eastern Kentucky University and graduated there. Went on to law school at UK. I practice law here in town in my own office and practice mainly here in Park County.
Okay. We're happy to have you.
All right. Next on the agenda, I have a dimensional variance for a 248 Owsley Fork Road. We have a Mr. Bill Hall. All right, sir. Come on up. Tell us your name and address, please, sir.
Yeah, sure. You just have to bear with me a little bit. I have to keep doing this. But I'm Bill Hogg. I live in Brooklyn, Kentucky. I own a lot out on the 248 Owsley Fork Road. Okay. I've owned it for probably 20 years.
You agree to give truthful and accurate information in this case?
Sorry.
You agree to give truthful and accurate
Yes,
information?
sir.
Okay. Tell us what you'd like to do here, Mr. Hall.
Well, if I could, let me back up a little bit. I've owned this lot for about 20-some years. I bought it from the neighbor next door, and there was a mobile home on that lot at that time. I rented it out for, I don't know, 10 years or so, a long time. It got dilapidated, and I didn't want it just to sit there and rust and, you know, and all that, so I moved it off. That was some years ago. The lot said vacant for a while. Meaning, I'm not real sure, but several years. Anyway, I met this guy, and we run a small business in Berea, and he was living in his van with him and his wife, and so forth. He's a good worker, and I said, well, listen, I've got a lot out on Owsley Fork out here. If you've got a camper, maybe we can go out there. I've got sewage out there. I've already got a water meter out there. There's an electric pole out there. Maybe we can, you know, get that going. You'll at least, you know, get out of your car. Anyway, so I go out there and check it out. Of course, things never go as well as you think they do. The electric had to be upgraded, so I came over to the office there in Richmond and got an electrical permit, and told them, you know, I was just going to try to put a camper out there. I told Dale I was going to put a camper there, and didn't seem to have any trouble, and went out and did the electric and got it approved. And we've been using it now for, the electric was turned on January the 12th of 21. So he's been living out there, using the sewer, using the water, using the electric for practically 2 years. Here's where the problems are. So he saved up his money. He was trying to get out of the camper. So he finally saved up enough money and bought an older mobile home, you know, wasn't a new one. And there had been a mobile home there. There's a perfect footprint right there. It was kind of dug out the lot. Really just a peculiar situation. It kind of goes like that for about 50 feet, and then it just dives down. So they dug that out a little bit where the front door just kind of came out, you know, on the grass part. And anyway, there's a perfect footprint, so we used that particular footprint, and he bought a trailer. And I guess for my own stupidity, I did not, you know, realize that the county came out that far. You know, I thought it's kind of the good old days. You kind of, whatever you did, but I was wrong. And I, you know, apologize, of course, to Vernon and stuff like that. But anyway, he moved the trailer on there. He moved it, reputable firm moved it there. He had it blocked. He had it, had paint repair put down. He had the rock put down. He had it tied down. And then we started getting some complaints, I guess, from the neighbor. And the way that it is, it leaves about 6 foot on the back of the trailer. We can move it a little bit more, but I still wouldn't quite be in compliant. I need about 10 foot 8 inches more, but I left about 6 foot, the footprint did, in case you need some steps to get out the back door. So I'm really not asking for any more land from somebody back of me or the left of me or the right of me. I'm just trying to make reasonable use of the property with the least amount of variance.
And so you're just asking for a variance from the front, from the road, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're asking for a 16-foot variance, so you're 34 feet.
No, I think I'm about, 10 foot 8 inches.
Okay,
Is that what I put?
It's 50 feet from the center of the road, and so it says you're asking for a 16-foot variance. So if you're asking for a 16-foot variance, that means you would need to be, that means you're gonna be 34 feet from the center of the road, what that means.
That's the center of the road now, not the edge of the road.
Not the edge of the road. So you might be thinking your property line or something like that, but from the center of the road, that'd be 34 feet back. You know, I mean, according to your diagram, it shows you 39.4 and 38.6.
Amazing.
But what it is, you got that front porch on there?
Well, that's what I was alluding to also. I think we just come out and put a concrete, slab there, so it wouldn't be a roof on it, wouldn't be anything like that. That's why I guess maybe I was getting back to it.
Alright. So with that 16-foot variance, that again, that's a 34-foot setback. It looks like you're past that, what I see in that diagram.
There is a little something unique that doesn't really have any bearing to this, but this is the neighbor's house next door to it. It's probably right here is the trailer, this is their house. You can see there is a little difference there.
Is that this house right here, Bill?
We won't argue about that one.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, mine is about 15 feet back.
Okay, so it's not closer than that house.
So there you go. In that area is, I kind of submit that basically I remember that kind of old. I remember when they paved that road out there, I guess that's when I became in compliant with the new regulations.
From the microphone so we can get it on tape.
What kind of complaints are you getting from the neighbors?
Well, she tried to buy the property back from me, and I priced it to her, and she was not happy with that. I wish she'd been here today, but anyway, she wasn't happy with the price, and ever since then, she just became kind of.
I mean, what's the issue she has with the trailer? She was okay with the camper.
The biggest thing that Vernon got into, the gentleman that I had living there in the camper, he didn't let the property get messed up. It was nasty.
Okay, so they complained about the condition of the
And
property.
then she also complained to the health department. And I do have
Is this the prior tenant?
no, this is the lady I bought the property.
No, I mean, the tenant that used to be there several years ago, he's the one that let it get run down?
That's the one that's there now, correct?
Well, that's the one that's there.
The one that
now.
is there now. He said-
He brought in some old cars and
Okay.
stuff, and he's just trying to make do, and it did get out of hand, but I think Vernon would attest to, because we had a lot of conversations, and I was pretty compliant, and I think we got it handled. He's not saying a whole lot.
So the complaint was more so the junk in the yard, more so than the trailer itself.
And then the other complaint, probably if Marty was here, was about, she made a complaint with the health department that, we came out there and put a 50-gallon drum in the ground, and that sewage was coming up and all that. So we did have an investigation on that. The health department went out, and I think I might have a copy of that there. If not, I've got a copy here of Jonathan from the health department. He's really concise and quick to the point. He said he investigated the complaint. He said no visible past or present signs or failure on this date. He said there was a tank observed. He went out and dug up around so he could see the concrete tank. And there's a big clean out on it and all that, so I'm just kind of pleading for, to be able to use the property again. Like I say, I'm not trying to go any closer to anybody else.
Has anybody called in on this one?
I got one call.
Okay, and this was
It was the same call I was in.
the neighbor?
Yeah.
Okay, what,
She's the one that you bought the property from
Yeah,
20 years
she's the
ago.
one I was gonna, she's wanting to buy it back, and we couldn't really agree
this
on it.
person's not present here tonight.
Is there anybody here?
Is there anybody here present tonight for this?
What?
Okay.
I didn't hear
Russell
what.
Brothers here.
Yes, I'm here. My wife's here.
For the outlet court?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Hogg, if you wanna have a seat, we'll let some other people come up, and then we'll let you come back with some answers. All right. Is anybody else would like to speak on the 248 Outlet Court Road?
You want to speak?
Go ahead, if you want to. You,
I get to speak?
yeah.
No, you can't.
Listen, we're supposed to let ladies do things today. This is we're not old guys. I only have a couple.
Come on up, sir, tell us your name and address, once you get the microphone.
Well, everybody knows me, but they call me things you're not allowed to repeat. My name is Delbert Rudolph, and I live on 358 Owsley Fork Road.
Okay, you agree to give accurate information as it pertains to
To
this case?
the best of my knowledge.
All right, sir, tell us today why you're here.
Why am I here?
Yes, sir.
Well, I was here because I was concerned with the amount of traffic that goes by on that road, and it's a lot more than it has been in the past. We've been there 35 years, and it's gone from a little old country road to, I'm exaggerating, to an interstate. I mean, but it's really busy there. 3 college halls, all kinds of stock up there around the lake and up on the other part. And we have several head of stock there. And we use a 48-foot trailer. And we're just concerned about a problem with traffic up and down that particular road. And I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but now I was told, I did not see it myself, that the sewage system they were putting in was a 55-gallon drum. Now, aside from that, there's a brook down at the bottom of where, behind that mobile home is sitting. That runs right through my farm and right on my neighbor's farm. And I don't know that we want a whole bunch of sewage in our problem, in our line, that's for darn sure. And I think that's a big problem, to be honest about it. That's my opinion, I guess.
And the reason you were saying about the traffic was because,
If you want to speak, you have to come up to the microphone so we just have to get it on tape. You're welcome to speak.
Come on.
Tell us your name, ma'am.
Susan Rudolph,
Okay. And you agree to give accurate information to change this case?
absolutely.
Okay.
All I was saying was that I think he was talking about the traffic because if you're, which our understanding, and it may be wrong, is they're trying to move the trailer towards the road,
Where it's at, it's gonna stay.
okay?
It's not gonna come any closer.
He's not gonna come closer to the road? Okay, that's what because they had, like Mr. Hogg said, piles of trash in there before. And there's nothing there now, of course,
Okay.
so.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll let Mr. Hall come back up, there's nobody else here for 248. And Mr. Hall, you have the, health department, can you submit that?
I think we've seen that. Don't we have a copy of it?
We have that.
So second, everything.
Yeah, I don't see it in the package, but I think we have a copy.
All right, so we have, so that's correct.
If we don't have it, we'll have it before we issue any permits.
Okay. And it's, again, on the record, he's read, it's been taken care of, everything's fixed on that.
Yes.
So, I think that was their biggest worry was that, the health department's fixed that. I think all we need to focus on now is with the variance that you're asking for, and if any other board members have any questions for you. And if they don't, then at this time, I'll open the floor up for a motion, okay?
And you did say that the health department has approved your septic system. You have a concrete tank in the ground. You said they dug down and inspected that.
Yes, I did.
And also,
Keith, that's part of our
Yeah.
permitting process,
Right.
to make sure we have that.
yes, and the property's in good working order, so.
Okay, I'll open the floor up for a motion.
16-foot variance, what were the setbacks, 34? I'll make a motion that we approve the 16-foot variance on the front, reducing the setback from 50 to 34 feet for the address of 248 Owsley Fork Road.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mike Madden,
Yes.
Keith Park,
Yes.
Keith Weaver,
Yes.
Kim Owens,
Yes.
Al Hall.
Yes. Mr. Hall, that'll be a week after this.
Appreciate the next couple days doing each paperwork that you need, okay?
All right, next up on the agenda, we have a conditional use for 358 Jessica Circle. A Kyle and Kimberly Morgan. Come on, Mr. Morgan, tell us your name and address, please.
Kyle Morgan, 358 Jessica Circle.
Okay, you agree to give truthful and accurate information that pertains to this case?
Do.
All right, Mr. Morgan, tell us what you'd like to do.
I'm actually wanting to get my dealer's license. So in the process of getting my dealer's license, I have certain things that the state requires. Have to have a building, at least 100 square foot, have to have at least 2,000 square foot of gravel, you know, to put a car if you have to. And you have to have a sign by the road at least 9 inches with the lettering to identify it as a auto parts or auto sales. Actually, it'd be an auto sales, or what it would be, you'd have to have a sign for that. But my intentions are, like I said when I submitted this, my intention is not to actually have a car lot. My intentions are to be able to get my dealer's license to get better deals on vehicles, be able to get good title vehicles. It's getting so hard within the state to actually rebuild a car because of the fact of the matter of you can only do so many under your name per year. So that was my thing. Is like I said, I need my dealer's license to do that. And then I don't have no problems whatsoever to be able to rebuild a vehicle or get a good title vehicle, anything like that.
So your goal here is not to have a dealership on the lot, it's to actually just to be able to fix cars. But to get a dealer's license, you gotta meet certain check marks, is that what you're saying?
You gotta have certain things to be able to do that.
How many vehicles are you limited to now?
Well, the state of Kentucky don't have a limit. It's pretty much when they say no. They cut me off at a certain point, won't let me fix no more. So most everything I fix now.
Because they won't let you sell but so many, right?
Well, they won't let you fix so many. I mean, I guess it's what it is. They're trying to cut it down to where only dealers are able to get this kind of stuff, and trying to cut the general public out of it. I understand to a certain extent, but you know, in my line of work, you know, this is something that I've always done, and it's how I make extra money. It's how we take vacation. So I mean, that's just the thing about it. So it's like I said, it's got to the point they've already shut me down where I can't. So we're having to build them in my wife's name. I don't know how long it'll take before they shut me down in her name. So this is the main reason to be able to get my dealer's license where I don't have to worry about that.
How many do you think you do a year on average right now?
I've sold a lot in Madison County, so I would say probably 6 or 7 a year.
How many would you plan on having at your lot at one time that you'd be working on? Like, how many would you have piled up there? I should say piled up.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't plan on working on no more than 1 or 2, and that's it.
Inside the garage?
Do what?
You doing it inside the garage?
Inside.
Which I drove through there. It looks like there's already a junkyard in that corner lot up there. I don't know if it's licensed or junkyard or not, but I've seen at least 50 vehicles on one lot down there.
Where at?
In the corner, in Jessica Circle, and you come in, make a left, and far in the corner, there's tons of vehicles in that
Oh yeah,
corner lot.
that guy's got a lot of vehicles over there too. Yeah, I don't know if he rebuilds or what he does, but he's got a lot of vehicles. And I've got several for parts, you know, down there that I've got to take off. You know, it's great.
Probably a dozen or so sitting down there now.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, you know, the way I work and all that stuff, it's hard sometimes to try to get, you know, down there to get them took off. And then the price of scrap is went down as well. So, but it's coming back up, and like I said, my main thing is to get what I've got in there out that I don't need and, continue on. Cause I plan on trying to switch over to just rebuilding probably trucks and SUVs instead of cars. Cars has been a real good seller, good for people that's got kids that turn 16, needing their first vehicle and all that stuff, and I've sold a lot of them to people here at the sheriff's office and RPD and all around the county, but, you know, that ain't really what makes the money.
So how many vehicles would you say you keep outside your garage? The parts and everything?
Well, normally, if I do the dealer license, they probably won't be no more than one outside for parts. Because what I've got right now needs to go, for scrap wise. Yeah, I wouldn't say no more than one or two of that. And then as far as the gravel lot, I doubt if they ever be a vehicle for sale on the gravel lot that I have to have. I have to have that by state requirement.
I don't know if you got, what I was passing out to the board, and I'll give you a copy of it, you can read along with it, is the development standards for home-based businesses. If you look under number 3, and I don't know if this will affect your plan or not, but A is that this activity must be conducted entirely within the primary dwelling unit or accessory structure, which could be your garage that you're talking about building. No evidence on the exterior of the premises that the property is being used in any other way than for residential dwelling. So that kind of messes with your sign requirements. No outdoor storage or display of products or goods is permitted, and obviously a car will be a product or a good. No additional access points or driveways shall be permitted. Outdoor storage is permitted if not visible from any public road or adjacent property. I know your property kind of falls from the back to the front. And G says at the discretion of the board, parking in outdoor storage areas would be permitted if you have at least 6 foot solid privacy fence or some kind of vegetation or something. These are fairly new regs, why I passed them out to the board during the meeting. Didn't know if you had seen them yet, but this is part of our new regulations we just adopted a couple months ago. So it's fairly new to them as well. So I just want to make sure that everybody's all set.
And I'm good with the whole privacy fence thing. I even thought about that in the first place. I didn't think about that, when I first started doing this.
Yeah.
But as it started growing and everything, and it got to the point, I was like, I need to just do a privacy fence and put everything behind it. That way nothing's seen from the road.
And that's right. That's kind of what we want. We don't want it to look like when somebody drives by that you've got a car out there.
Yeah.
We want it to look like a house.
So this is your proposed, so right now you don't have the 36 by 40 garage?
I do have a 36 by 40 garage.
You don't have the 10 by 10 office?
I do not.
Okay. You have the 12 by 20 storage building?
So you want to point out on your property here where those, I assume this is your residence.
That's correct.
This is the garage you're talking about.
That's correct.
And where you might construct your office adjacent to this, or?
It would be on the other side.
Looks like about right here.
Is that where the lots you're talking about be located?
Off the front corner of the building.
Yeah.
So we're saying elevation changes between the road and is it 10 feet, 20 feet? Back or front and back? How much does it fall off there? Because if it falls off 20 feet, you put a 6 foot house.
It falls pretty good.
Yeah,
I would say.
that's good, right? I mean,
Yeah.
It would have to be up at the road.
Put the fence at the road, as opposed to.
Well, if it's got that big of a fall, that's what he's saying, a 6 foot privacy fence is not gonna.
You look right over into it.
Yeah. And, then you've got this too, this is your property line, so, then you're looking at there, and you're gonna, for
So
privacy.
your neighbor's probably the same elevation back in here, so I mean, you could screen that with a fence back here. I think what Keith and Mike are saying, if you maybe put some, and it mentions evergreens or
Yeah.
some kind of vegetation, in lieu of fence. So if you could plant some vegetation up here at the road, that would screen it from the road. Look, if you put a 6 foot privacy fence down there at your barn, you're not gonna be screening anything, because you can see it from the road still.
Well, something else I thought too, if you see the garage back behind the garage, if I put the privacy fence back there and put it, you wouldn't be able to see anything behind that garage. if you put a few vehicles back there.
Back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, put your private fence out like that,
Yeah.
and then bring everything back here behind it.
So in other words, you'd have a 2,000 square foot parking lot there that you really couldn't use for anything.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just something that's required by the state that I have to gravel it, just to be able to have a display lot.
Gosh.
Like I said, there'd probably never be nothing displayed on it, but
But there could be, I think that's the intent of the street.
It is, yes.
So, what you're asking, and it's, you're not asking for a car dealership here. So what you're asking for, Bert, he's asking to be able to work on and rebuild cars at his home.
What he's asking for is for me to sign a piece of paper that says he has proper zoning or approval for the ability to be a car dealer.
That's
Right.
correct.
Because the state subdivision requires the local zoning administrator
And
to
that's-
sign off on any kind of car lot or
Gotcha.
car sales business.
So even though it says he's not planning on doing that, if it's
Yeah.
approved, he could.
Good.
He could, that's right, so you all have to be mindful of.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting at, yeah.
If things start going really well, and you want to put 3 or 4 cars out there, they need to be screened from your neighbors and your road. And you seem like you sound like you're willing to do that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I mean, still, what are you gonna stop the sign?
Yeah, can't, I mean,
The sign, I mean, that's,
that's a deal breaker right there, so
you
therefore,
have to put a sign up by the state.
does it have to be on the road?
It has to be by the road,
Visible to
Visible
people that
from the
drive
road?
by.
visible from the road, yeah. I don't think that it says anything in there as far as how far from the road or anything like that, or how big the sign is.
So what do you put it on,
Nine-inch
what do you put it on your
letters.
building?
9-inch letter.
If you put it on your building, I mean, there's people that
On your
put
office,
Pepsi
yeah,
and
that 10 by 10 office,
All
you
kinds
put
of
a
signs
Gold
on it.
sign on
yeah,
it.
there's collectors out there that post.
See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, I just don't know if that would be, I don't know if that would pass. I mean, like I said, I'm
What
open,
do you have to do to get verification? I guess that's where I'm going. What do you gotta do to get verification or something like that? 'Cause again, we won't, we don't wanna do something and not work. Cause we're not gonna allow you to put a sign at the road, I'll just tell you that.
Right.
So, I think,
this board can approve,
Just you table it
well,
and let
well,
him.
this board can approve it without the sign, and then you go back to Frankfurt and say, they approved me to do this, but they won't let me have the sign now. I'll sign
On the
it
road.
then.
Well, now here's the thing, I'll try to, and just come to mind, one of the guys here is a firefighter that done the same thing. He put a sign on his building,
yeah,
it's not by the road.
exactly. And that's what we're saying. Yeah.
He's in
Yeah,
a
we're fine.
he's in a residential area.
He's not as a residential area, no, but, when they talk about the signs, like I said, there's certain lettering and all that stuff. You gotta think, most people see them beside the road,
Did he have to get a conditional use permit to?
I'm sure that it is, because it's
Let
not.
me ask you this. If you were just to put up a sign, so this board is gonna be hard for them to approve a sign that says auto sales here. But if you put a sign on your building that says Morgan's, okay, that's just your advertising that this is your home place, this is Morgan's place. What does the content of the sign have to be to satisfy the dealer requirements?
It has to say auto sales, auto mart, something like that. It has to be something auto.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah.
But that would be fine to put it on the garage.
Well, so again, the intent of that is that you can't see it from the road.
Yeah.
So if you can put it on your building where you can't see it from the road or behind a tree or something, then I think you're meeting the intent of the standard. And if that meets the requirement for the dealer license, then I think that's good. And the board can put it in their conditions that the sign can't be visible from the road. Now, if that satisfies Frankfurt, then so be it. If not, the purpose of these standards are to make it look like that's a residence. And for you to put any kind of sign advertising any kind of business there, contradicts that. But again, if you can't see the sign, then you're complying with the standard, but I don't know if you're complying with Frankfurt.
Well, here's the biggest thing on something like this is you know, to send all this stuff in, I have to take pictures and send it in. I mean, if I put a sign in front of it, took a picture of it, took it back down, that's a different story.
Well, that's between you and, that's
I
between
understand what you're
you.
saying, that's between me and Frankfurt, but
Yeah.
the thing about it is they used to, they come out and inspected these places.
Yeah.
And a lot of times anymore, if you send the pictures in and all that stuff, they don't never come out and inspect.
Well, and the board's not gonna allow you to put a permanent sign.
Right.
No, I mean, it's right here in the standards, that's not even the board's decision,
Permanent.
that's above and beyond anything that the board might restrict you to, so.
Do we have anybody else here that wants to speak about this?
Have we had any phone calls on this one? Any emails or anything?
We're his next door neighbor.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to
If
Yeah.
you'd like to speak, come up.
Are you just here to support him, or you just?
Just nosy.
Okay. Gotcha.
Do you live above him here, or do you live down
Right
there?
there, that's our.
Come on up.
house, right on.
Tell us your name and address, sir.
Robert Martin, and it's 354 Jessica Circle, north, right there. And
Mark, do you
he's,
agree to give truthful and accurate information as it pertains to this case?
sure.
Thank you, sir.
He has not bothered us at all with what he's been doing. And his plan on doing the privacy fence behind the shop would clean that up really nice, make our view better. So as far as his neighbors go, we don't have a problem with what he wants to do. That's all I can say.
So, and you're all right with him selling the vehicles there?
Well, he said he's not gonna be selling them out of there, he's just.
That's what I want you to understand. For us to approve this, we have to approve him a conditional use permit to sell vehicles on that property.
So what would be approved would be a home-based business.
Business, yes.
And to conduct this type of business, this on whatever restrictions or conditions the
We,
board puts on it.
we could put a limit on the number of vehicles he can have
I just wanna make sure you're aware of that. If this is
That'll be
approved,
fine.
he can sell
Yeah.
at
vehicles.
one time.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
And
not.
if he ever leaves, his conditional use permit goes with him, so it's not like another neighbor could come in and pick up where he left off. They'd have to start from scratch and do the whole process again. So it goes with him, it doesn't go with the property, it's not like a zone change or something, it's just for him.
Okay.
Okay?
For him, we're willing to make it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else here? Mr. Morgan, you'll come back up. No. Okay, more questions?
How many vehicles would you like to be able to have on your lot for sale at one time?
I mean, I'd say probably one or two, but I don't really, like I said, I don't think go to that point. Cause I mean, to be honest with you, 95% of the vehicles that I fix are sold before they even come out. Somebody's always called me, you know, so. It's, like I said, it's one of those things that they're usually sold before they come out of the garage.
Do you work on one at a time, fix it, sell it, get another one? Rebuild it, salvage title and stuff?
And all that work takes place inside the garage.
And does anybody come to your place, like if you sell one, do you sell it there, do you meet somebody there? Is it by appointment only?
Most time it's somebody from the sheriff's office or RPD or something like that. So
It's by appointment?
they'll just come down there, yeah, and
You don't have business hours where you have, foot traffic or vehicle traffic coming and going, you don't advertise as a business with regular hours or whatever.
now I do have to post hours in the window, the little building.
Your office, right?
Could it say by appointment?
Yeah.
Or does it have to be?
It has to have hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what?
That's
what
your-
hours
I
do you-
think that's limited, because it's one of those things that, you know, if you work full-time, you're not gonna be out there, you know, full.
Right, sure.
I work day shift, so a lot of times I'm out there in the evening.
Yeah.
If something was to ever happen, I come down to part-time and maybe start doing that a little more, then, you know, the hours might differ.
So
But
what's your, where you looking at your hours? Because if it's gotta be on there, that's one of these restrictions you have to put on there is days and hours, time.
you could put Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, but I mean, that probably ain't what it's gonna be, but.
Well,
Yeah.
these are hours open to the public, not necessarily hours you're gonna be down there.
If somebody was coming to purchase a car from you or something, what would those hours be?
Your business hours.
Your business hours? Like 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday?
Actually, I'll do weekend, but I mean, that's
Alright, and all your work is gonna be stored inside your 36x40 garage? Alright, there will not be any signage on the property
It's
What-
visible.
that's visible from the road.
What about the vehicles that are there now?
They're gonna be leaving. Yeah, I just ain't had a chance to.
And you was gonna use your storage to be behind the garage going in the future
Yes.
and putting the fences up.
There will be
Any outdoor storage or screen will be, or storage or, would be screened from the neighbors and the road
6 foot,
to comply with development standards that are already in the regulations.
6 foot,
You don't need to spell it out, Ralph, it's in,
Right.
you just reference those standards.
okay, just comply with development standards number 3,
All of them.
all of them.
Does it make
You
a
don't have,
difference?
you don't have employees, right?
Do I?
You don't have employees.
Just you working there?
Just me. Well, my wife. She's there for most.
So that's,
That's on the record.
so,
As far as like the hours, does that matter if they do change? Like if I,
If you have a significant change in one of the conditions of your, permit, you need to come back from the board.
Okay.
Now,
you need a,
We can adjust them
you
now.
need a day on the weekend, is that what you're saying?
well, I think at a certain point, it's gonna be 8 to 4 is what it's gonna be, and then I said, I'm gonna work evening shift and doing this.
Yeah. So you're saying Monday through Saturday, 8 to 8, will cover
Probably Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, 8 to 8?
So you might switch to working nights.
I might switch and go to part-time and
Okay.
work in the evenings, part-time, and then do this through the day.
Okay.
So we need to change it.
No business on Saturday or Sunday?
8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
8 to 8.
12 hours a day.
Yes. Anybody else got any questions, Mr. Morgan? We got any on call, anything like that? Nobody else has any questions? We'll open the floor for motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the conditional use permit for the property located at 358 Jessica Circle. Conditional use permit will allow the operation of a car sales lot on the property. The hours of operation will be Monday through Friday, 8 to 8, and that will be by appointment only. All the work and storage will be inside the garage and storage behind the garage, and all the home-based business standards will have to be complied with. And there will be no signage on the property that will be visible from the road or the neighbors.
Are we gonna limit the number of vehicles as well, or no?
He said one or two, I'd say limiting to a couple that are outdoors, and then if he can fit a couple in his garage too.
Okay, operation of car sales lot limited to 4 cars outside. And 4 inside, if you have room for 4 inside.
4 outside should be ready for sale.
Yeah, not general.
Still working on.
Alright, hold on, that's gonna finish this motion. Alright, you good? Alright, we have a motion, you know, all that, do we?
I
Alright,
think you got it on the paper there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
alright, I have a motion now, do I have a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Keith Weaver,
Yes.
Keith Park,
Yes.
Mike Navy,
Yes.
Kim Owens,
Yes.
Ralph Allen.
Yes.
Right, Ralph, we'll see you the next couple of days, and we'll get you, Lydia, you she gets paperwork ready for you, come pick up, take the first off, and get it toward you.
Thank you. Alright. Next on the agenda, we have the conditional Chenault Vineyard LLC.
So just bring y'all up to speed, and I think, Mayor representing the applicant has a copy of, and if there's an existing conditional use permit for this property, some of you might have been, maybe just you, Ralph, involved when we first issued this permit, it's for an event venue, obviously, winery and everything else that, will be shown on this permit. I believe the applicant is here tonight to ask for, an amendment to that, existing conditional use permit, and I'll let him take it from there.
And he submitted this,
Yeah, we'll put this in the record, this is a copy of it.
this is enclosure one.
Yes, we'll have three of them, or actually four of them, not one.
Enclosure one. All right, first one, guys, all right. Enclosure two. Will be the map. Enclosure three is going to be.
I only have one copy of that, that would be good for. I did.
Three. You have one more for us?
Yes, it's that one right there, I only have one copy, I have two copies.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I'll leave one.
Okay.
instead.
So 2, 3, and 4 are maps. Okay, and sir, tell us your name and your representative.
Yeah, Scott Schutte here on behalf of Chenault Vineyards LLC, and with me I have Mr. Ed Chenault and one of his employees, Matthew.
Okay, tell us what they'd like to do here today, sir.
Yep, so in front of you are three maps and the land use restriction that was recorded in 2016 when Chenault Vineyards was back in front of you all. At that time, they were requesting a CUP for the vineyard and the winery operations, as well as some accessory uses which are outlined in 3 through 13 there. And the reason why we're here tonight is you'll see on number 5 on land use restriction, it says music and other entertainment events will be limited to 1,000 people. And so our request tonight is to eliminate that 1,000 person capacity limit.
What about number 3?
Well, that's what I was gonna say, we would like to remove that as well. I don't know if festivals would necessarily fall into our request, but for clarity, we'll go ahead and ask for that as well. I know everybody is generally familiar with the vineyard out there. It's been in operation since around 2016. Since then, there's really been no issues, traffic, parking, or otherwise related. What you'll see on those maps that are marked as exhibits 2 and 3 and 4 is the conceptual parking plan that they have in place if this is approved tonight. And what our engineers and traffic engineers have come up with is that for events like these, live music events, there's generally about 2.5 people per vehicle. So that 4,000, 5,000 people, that'd be about 2,500 spots, 2,000 spots. So we're right now showing about 2,400 parking spots, which will be more than enough to park everybody that's going to visit this facility in the future. In addition to that, as of right now, I believe there's 2 entrances currently open. With this new plan, there will be 4 entrances to help alleviate any type of traffic coming in and out of the facility. In addition, if you've been out on the property, as it stands right now, there is a 1-lane road that runs through the property. That will be switched to 2-lane to obviously accommodate the visitors and help the flow of traffic coming in and out. Additionally, I think that Chenault's done a great job in positioning this proposed amphitheater in an area that almost sits below the rest of the property. Sound obviously travels a lot better when it's at a higher elevation. We think with it being down in the valley, we'll eliminate any type of impacts it might have on neighbors. I think Madison County is in a unique spot right now. It's seen a large influx of people in the last couple of years. It's one of the most growing population-wise counties in the state. Chenault's looking to grow with the county, it's looking to accommodate, visitors. I put in the letter of justification example of the AMP, distillery down in Madison County. Theirs is more focused, less on bourbon, more on the music. Chenault's gonna still stay focused on the wine with the music as an accommodation. So with that, we're happy to answer any questions, but like I said, we'd asked for the previous conditional use permit to be amended to eliminate that 1,000 person capacity.
Do you have a number?
We'd asked for 5,000.
Okay.
Any parking spaces, does the plan show?
2,400 times 2.5.
2,400 parking places?
Times 2.5, what does that give us, bro?
Well,
That's
2,000.
our regulations would require,
That's,
would require one space for every 4 persons, so if you're going one space for every 2.5, you said, then obviously you'd be getting those requirements.
okay. So, I got a chance to go out there and look at it. They've already got the overflow parking that we're talking about, that engine on the red line.
Yeah, where they were spreading number twos, when I was out there.
On the left.
It's right behind you, center.
So,
Right to your left, your welcome center.
Yeah.
Go to your left, right there, that parking lot is.
Yeah, so now there's a parking lot right here.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be the barn, there's an entry on both sides of the barn. And so, this here, then here's what you're talking about now, there's now this way, there's a road that goes through here also. So when I was there, there'll be an entry and exit coming through. Then they showed on back, here we go on the map. The parking area there. We're looking at the, you guys are looking at the ravine. You see the parking back there in the back, it says bus truck. That's that other part, you see them putting burners up and clear all that out. So that was making parking there.
What's your restroom facilities, capacity, that kind of stuff?
There's gonna be a breeze, like a breezeway that's shown on.
So that barn, there's a barn right now to the left, if you're looking at the ravine, to the left, there's an open back barn there.
Yeah, it's security, everything.
That's gonna be the entrance point. That's where they'll enter in before they go into the ravine. And there'll be porta potties set up there. And concessions and everything will be through the back barn. No, so right here, this one. Alright, but right now there's another one. Can't see, but it goes like this right here. It's sort of hidden. So right here, so what they're gonna do is they're gonna take this is gonna be 2 lanes. From here, so you'll have a way in and then a way out. Okay? And, they're gonna take that on the back barn and you'll have 2 points of, what they show, there'll be 2 points of, one parking and then they'll shuttle.
How many times a year do you foresee having up to 5,000 people?
It's not gonna be on a weekly basis. I don't wanna.
You're not gonna have a Taylor Swift concert. Yeah, I know.
That's exactly right. As much as we'd love to have her out there, I don't know that we're gonna swear.
You don't have to have a risk running. Is there any requirements for due to that many parking spots? That's a state rule, but is there any requirement by the state on a turning lane for that? There's not.
I mean, we would regulate it for what?
I didn't know how that.
We have an existing entrance, are they proposing an additional entrance?
2, yes.
2 additional entrances?
They're already existing. They're already existing.
They're already existing.
Yeah, so,
going from 2 to 4, no?
It is going from 2. 2 are not truly in operation right now.
Yeah, but therefore, then.
There's 2 in that, that extra parking lot, Keith?
I'm not familiar with that, no.
So this extra parking lot.
I didn't get a chance to ride out there, so.
Right here is an extra, what I call overflow parking lot. And it's gonna have an entrance here and an entrance there, okay?
But it's not really it was gonna connect to the road, or is it?
No, it's
Just parking lot, in and out the parking
in
lot.
and out the parking lot. There'll be shuttles from here
Okay.
to the ravine via the vineyard.
Through the property though,
Through the
not
block, not back on the road.
Okay, so you have, I see what you're saying, you have two entryways now, then you got the
Yeah,
parking
you
lot.
got-
So this is that existing loop.
That's,
Okay.
So you're gonna,
It does, yeah.
So yeah, there's not 4 entries to the ravine.
To the front.
Yeah, so there'll be an entrance and there'll be an exit, and that they got to split, they'll be like this. That's what he told me, this will be an entry, this will be an exit, once it's final.
Right.
And that way you got 2 separate, yeah, looking for.
to answer your question, the state will regulate that, any new entrances or any changes of use, if they see a problem, I think that would be left up to them to regulate that.
And since they've already got, I mean, they're already there, I'm assuming they've already approved that, that's what I was.
Well, yes, an existing entrance, but they would still evaluate, in other words, if you had a farm entrance into a 100-acre farm,
Yes.
it was an existing entrance, but then you're gonna put 400 lot subdivision in there, the state is gonna adjust that entrance as necessary to accommodate that additional traffic. Similar situation, I assume, back here, but again, all that would be regulated by the state.
Okay.
Knowing the state transportation cabinet like I do, I'm sure they'll let us know if we need.
Yeah. Let you know, yeah. Alright, so again, with the enclosure 1 that you provided us, the only thing you want to amend on this application is number 3 and number 5 is the amount of people to allow on the venue, and nothing else is changing from the application.
So let's make sure we put what that amendment number is from 1,000 to
To,
5,000.
he's requesting 5,000. Let's see what the board wants to do.
Right.
How many events are y'all planning on having? Are you doing it like a couple times a month or 2 or 3 times a year? What do you think? Every
I
weekend?
mean, it could be anywhere, I mean, to be honest, for 2024, we're talking about maybe four events total.
4 events a year, so quarterly?
But I think, maybe, but I think you might get that to 8, maybe.
How many, Michael,
It's
how
gonna
many
be
events
warm
did you have?
weather type
Yeah,
stuff.
it's gonna be seasonal based on
Yeah.
months and stuff like
Not
that,
gonna,
so.
they're not gonna come out in the middle
You're
of
talking,
January.
you can't really do it,
Exactly.
June, July, it's scorching hot.
How many events could you have at one time on the premises?
Well, I think, yeah, 4.
4?
Yeah, I think we need to get him on the record.
Yeah.
He wants to come up here and just,
Mr. Schnapp, okay, if they want to go
Yeah,
ahead
just-
on record. And then y'all can all be here while we're asking
Yeah.
questions. Tell us your name, sir.
Yeah, Matthew McCurahan,
Okay, and you agree to give accurate truthful information to things?
sure do.
Okay. So yeah, so that, I guess that's one thing, if you had the wedding venue,
And that's
the
what,
ravine, if everything was
yeah.
one time, how
So
many?
business is already, I mean, the vineyard has done a great job of utilizing community events, things of that nature. And so if we utilize our existing structures right now currently, we're gonna be pushing that 1,000 limit max already, without even building the amphitheater. And so just based on business growth, we were gonna have to come do this. But now with the potential of a new ravine to be able to bring in community events, some music, things of that nature, that's where we could have 4 potential events going on at once. Stuff at the Welcome Center, the reception hall, what you see there. There's a barn back there that's kind of an open breezeway, wedding type venue type thing, small, quaint, boutique style. So 4 events, 4 venues at the same time could possibly go on. So that's why we're asking for those additional.
but that would be a total of 5,000 for the whole
That's correct.
facility, not,
Yeah, that's what, it's not per event, that's what I'm
Correct.
saying.
Yeah.
not per structure,
Exactly.
No.
Okay.
gathering areas, right?
Would, they be happy with 4,000?
I think we can make that work.
Is there anybody else here for this?
I own 2380 and 2400 Barnesville.
Would you like to come up and talk, ma'am?
I'm just being nosy.
Okay, that's fine. If you don't want to say nothing, that's fine. I just give everybody in the audience an opportunity to come up and voice their opinion for or against. And, we're glad you're here, okay? You don't have to come up and speak. Does anybody else from the board have any questions? If not, do we have any calls, any emails, anything? We'll open up the floor for a motion.
No, we're doing a motion to amend.
It's a,
Yeah, we have to amend the existing permit.
so, yeah. So I'll open up the floor for a motion at this time. Looking closer.
Yeah. Alright, I'd like to make a motion, we approve conditional use permit to amend, enclosure one to allow 4,000 vehicles and 1,000.
Item number 3.
Item number 3. And item number 5. This is gonna be at 2284 Barnesville Road. Conditional use permit to allow the operation of the music venue. Venues have events 4 to 8 times a year. 2,400 parking spots.
Which all we're doing,
Yeah.
all we're doing is amending.
So the way this will work, just for the board and for you all to know, you all, if you approve this amendment to their conditional use permit, they'll still go through the site development process, and that's going to determine the required parking, restroom facilities and all that. So all this board needs to do is make the motion to amend, the request of whatever number you want to amend.
Alright, I'd like to make a motion to approve the conditional use permit, located at 2284 Barnesville Road, to amend the current proposal on number 1, we want to adjust number 3 and number 5, from 1,000 people to 4,000.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mike Madden,
Yes.
Keith Weaver,
Yes.
Keith Park,
Yes.
Kim Owens, Ralph Hall.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I got 3 votes, is that right? Correct.
There's one more.
There's one more for you all.
There's only one copy.
Topical.
Topical. Obviously, overall section.
2, 3, and 4 are mine.
Make sure I got it.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
All right. Do we have any new business, Burton?
No, we're good.
All right, I need a motion, open up floor for a motion to adjourn.
Hey, motion we adjourn.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Call the roll.
Keith Weaver?
Yes.
Mike Madden?
Yes.
Keith Park?
Yes.
Kim Owens? Ralph Hall.
Yes, sir.
I haven't signed it yet, because registration hasn't opened.
Haven't started yet. It's in court.
But I will see you all.
Yeah, well, just so we get a.
I'll give you a heads up on, it. Yeah.
What, 8 to 4:30?
I think that's right, yeah.
That probably what same instructors you all saw in Franklin.
So he's good.
So that's not confirmed yet, is that what you're asking about, the term?
Yeah, well, they haven't opened the registration for it yet, but that's what it's looking